Hey, how you doing, everybody? It's Ray here, City Fan TV, and I'm joined by the myth, the legend in his own lunchbox, Bernard. How you doing, mate?
Don't mention lunchboxes. No, don't mention them. I'm all right, mate. I'm just obviously just looking forward to losing an hour's sleep, but fortunately, I'm not in work tomorrow, so it won't make a lot of difference tomorrow because I'm not in work anyway, so I don't lose anything particularly.
If this was this time tomorrow and we'd gone an hour forwards, what you said would have been past the watershed. It would have been acceptable, but it's not. No lunchbox talk. I was talking about an actual lunchbox. You've gone somewhere a bit,
Well, that's where you wanted me to go. Don't tell me you didn't. Don't tell me you didn't feed me that line to go there.
feed the Deneen and he will score. Absolutely. Evening, Alec. Big Morgan.
I'll probably score better than bloody Grealish would anyway.
No, I've heard he's been scoring quite well, actually.
Has he? Yeah. Well, not on the football pitch for England, obviously.
Oh, dear me.
Literally, that's the only thing I watched. I didn't watch any of the game. I was in work anyway, so I thought I'd watch the highlights. But then I saw it on Twitter him getting a lot of stick. So I thought I'll have to watch just brief highlights. And I have no idea how we missed that. I have no idea.
I didn't watch it. I couldn't watch it. I couldn't watch the highlights. I certainly not.
Horrible. It was worse than I thought. It was even worse than Sterling's. You know, I mean, Sterling has done some crackers over the years, but this has to be up there with one of the worst misses I've seen in my life.
Alex, hope you're well, buddy. Well, I didn't watch it. I'm certainly not going to watch the full game.
Yeah, just watch it. Just watch the Grealish thing because it's comical. It's almost comical. It's not as though he mistimed it and
yeah.
That well, he did over the bar or anything like that. He just passed it to the corner flag. I had no idea what he was doing.
I've seen a still shot where it looks like it's a pretty much open goal, but there was no way I was going to watch the highlights after Harry Kane scored. No chance, guys.
The legend Harry Kane.
The main thing we're going to talk about is Haaland, but there's a couple of other things I'm just going to quickly mention. There's rumours that Laporte's. Spurs are looking at Laporte and wanting for about 30 or 40 million quid. I think I speak for every City fan. They can do one. Mr. Levy, if you want Laporte, you can pay about 80 million, I think, because
at least we shouldn't do any business with Spurs. Just scrap it now. Forget it. Anything we're interested in, forget it. Anything they want, forget it.
Well, no, I wouldn't mind if they've got any decent players that we're interested in, but who they got that we're really interested in now. Those, that ship with Harry Kane has sailed. There's talk of Carlos Borges. Is it Carlos Borges? Plays in the academy in the EDS side. He's about 18 years old and he's scoring goals for fun. That guy's a greedy so-and-so. I've seen him play. But he's got the talent at the moment to go with it. But that young lad is looking at next year. What's he going to do? He's worried that he feels he should be with the first team squad, even getting some first team game time. And you might look at someone like Cole Palmer, who's had an out this season. Look at people like, was it Edozie who went to Southampton, Lavia, Southampton, Bazunu. These kids are out there playing. And, there's talk of, and I don't get this, our buyback clause for Lavia is 40 million quid. And City fans are saying, well, why did we waste our money on Calvin Phillips when we had Lavia? Hello, Num. Is it Nam? Big Morgan says, no business with the Spuds. You're right, boys. Evening Blue says, Sean, hope you're well. And I think this is the new one. Nam, I've not seen you around before, so hi to you. Well, I don't remember. I'm getting old now. My memory's gone. But anyway, anybody new to the channel, please subscribe. Help us catch up to Bernard's channel, which has got thousands of people following it, thousands of subscribers. We're here today really going to talk about Erling Haaland. And basically, something I said after last game, and I think we last home game, or was it one before that? We beat Leipzig. Sorry, we beat Leipzig by 7. And then we went ahead and beat Burnley by 6. And Mr. Haaland scored 5 and 3, respectively, against those teams. And I said, I remember talking to James and other people at the last game, and I said, to be honest, he's not even been here a season. And I think Erling Haaland is already knocking on the door to be our best ever striker. Now, you might say, "Oh, come on, it's 2/3 of a season," but he's not got that longevity. He's not got 5 or 6 seasons of banging him in. He's not got the records, but like Aguero's got, was it just over 200 goals? I can't remember the full amount. He's not got those records, but it's what he's doing. You might not say he's the most talented striker. It depends what you want from a striker. If you want a guy to stick the ball in the back of the net, he's probably one of the most talented around because he sticks the ball in the back of the net. He's got 42 goals this season in all competitions. And I think the most in the Premier League era in all competitions is 44. 44. And he's got 42. And he's still got potentially 2 FA Cup games, potentially 5 Champions League games and 10 league games. So he's potentially got 17 more games this season. And if he just staggers over the line, you'd be disappointed if he don't get 50 goals this season for Man City in all competitions. And if he goes through all those 17 games, there's nothing to stop him getting to the dizzying heights of 60 goals in a Premier League season across all competitions. So I think it's a bold statement from me to say Erling Haaland is already knocking on the door of being our best ever striker, certainly in the Premier League era. The only competition is Sergio Aguero. How highly do you rate him, Bernard?
Well, it's like anything. We always say you've got to give him a season. any of these guys, we've got to give them a season. Alvarez, it doesn't matter. I mean, the first season under Pep, we've always got to allow him some leeway. So perhaps with Haaland, it'll be the opposite. It'll be brilliant. Then all of it'll go crap from next season onwards. But you can always say what you see, and hopefully this little injury is not too bad for him to cause problems going forward, to put the kibosh on that potential of scoring 60 goals, if you like, because that could easily happen. But hopefully that'll get sorted out. But yeah, I mean, he's doing what we bought. I mean, he's doing to be honest with you, he's doing exactly what we thought. And yeah, we know some games he disappears a little bit. He puts a little bit of effort in. He still works hard, but and that's when he'll get criticised. But we do know that even if he has I think he did the same with Dortmund, did the same with the team before that. He'll have patches where he won't be scoring for fun, and then it just happens. And he keeps plugging along as long as he's got the confidence. Even when he has a bad patch, he seems to be a confident lad anyway. I don't think too much gets him down. He's a young lad. He's cheerfulish. So what can we say? He's doing what it said on the tin, isn't he? At the moment, that's what we bought him for.
Absolutely. I mean, I was reading today. He's averaging a mere 1.58 goals per home game. A mere 1.58 goals. And obviously, the last 2 games have been a huge difference. When you score 8 goals in 2 games, it's going to affect your numbers. We always used to talk about Sergio's numbers and say, he scored a goal every 80 minutes, and he was miles clear of everybody else. And Haaland's even clear of Sergio. It is a slight disappointment that away from home he's not as prolific as he is at home. But then I think that's down to City not being as prolific away from home as they are at home. But 42 goals, he's already overtaken so many other people. I don't know how many goals Edin Dzeko got at City, but I suspect it's not going to be much more than what Haaland's got already. I'm gonna have a quick look then. Obviously I've done my homework and talking about someone that I've not checked up. I just decided to look at this. But Edin Dzeko at City, because he was here a few seasons. He had a couple of really decent ones. But that fella's played a lot of games. Edin Dzeko at City scored 50 goals in. I'm just checking it. 50 goals, 72 goals in total at City in 189 appearances. Okay, so Erling Haaland could get to 60 very close this season. If he stays fit next season, he's beaten Edin Dzeko's what he got in 4.5 seasons. He'll beat it in a season and a half.
Yeah, just say what Chris is saying there. Didn't they say he didn't have a clause in his contract when they've looked into it?
Who knows who to believe and what to believe? Now, the stuff that's come out now, I don't know why it didn't come out before. Why is it leaked now? Or why is it made up now? Maybe it's a very quiet news day, isn't it? With no Premier League football. They're talking about 240 million euros. Something in that region. Now, but that's in 2024. There is nothing to stop City renegotiating Haaland's contract this summer, taking it, if there is a release clause, taking it out, or if there is one, bumping it up to like 400-500 million, like the Spanish clubs do, because no one's paying 500 million for Haaland, well, except Chelsea. But seriously, no one's going to go, that to that level. And I can say right now, if I was Real Madrid, I wouldn't be looking at Haaland. I'd be looking at Harry Kane. Obviously, your man Benzema's 35. He's still doing all right, but he's coming to the end. He's going to be coming to the end within a couple of years. And
he's been hinted at a move to United, hasn't he, Kane?
Has he?
That's what I've heard a few days back, that he could. So it's their sort of buy, and they don't buy youngsters, do they? They buy for now, don't they? Let's be honest about it. That's still their philosophy. All right, they pick some youngsters up in the meantime, fair enough, but they're not worried about getting 2 or 3 years out of a guy. And obviously, Kane still probably got 2 or 3 years of scoring goals in him at least.
He may have 4 or 5 years at the top level.
I'm just thinking of his injuries as he gets older. It's like Sergio, as he gets older, those injuries that happen at the moment will get worse and worse. That's the only thing I'm worried about with him.
So the thing is with I'll talk about Harry Kane quickly. The thing is, I've got a feeling he would like to stay in England because he'd like to break Shearer's record. So one hand, he's now broken Jimmy Greaves' record for Spurs, and he'll add a little bit more to that before he finishes this season. If he stayed at Spurs, probably another 2.5 seasons, he'd break the Premier League goal scoring record. He'd overtake Alan Shearer. I know they've done it at Spurs, which I think he'd like that. But I think if he waits 3 more years, he's not getting that big move. Everybody will have moved on. So if he wants it, I think a move to United, stays in the country, it's probably good for his family. That's maybe the way he looks at it. It's good for his family. It's good for him. He knows the league.
I don't think it suits him. I don't think it's suiting to go out the Premier League, personally, his style of play. I know, as you say, in this day and age, they can do it, but I think I don't think he'd want to, as you say. I just don't consider he'd want to leave the country at this stage now. He's got nothing really to gain, I don't think. Financially, he can just earn as much here with teams like United as he would anywhere else. So I just couldn't envisage that happening.
I reckon if he went to United, he could ask for, especially if they sell the club, 400 grand a week, 500 grand a week, and he'd get it.
Yeah.
Because they'd look at him as a finished article for them. And we're going back to our man Haaland. So, we're going through some of the comments. Obviously, Big Morgan's talking about Lee Bradbury. You can't forget him. Second to Sergio. I think he's already second to Sergio. I mean, yes, you got Tevez scored a few goals. Dzeko scored a few goals. Other people scored a few goals. But in terms of numbers, he's already passed most of our Premier League scorers. I'm trying to guess where he'd be. Obviously, Sterling scored more goals than him at the moment in the Premier League for City. He'd need 2 seasons to get past all our Premier League. He might beat Sterling in total goals for City, but not Premier League goals for City in 2 seasons, I think. Because Sterling, he must have had, I would suggest, 70 goals for City in the Premier League. Somewhere in that region. Because he had 60 to 70. One season he did score 20 goals in the Premier League one season. So I'm going to pull up his Sterling's numbers. So Sterling at Manchester City scored 131 goals and he got 91 in the Premier League. So it'll take Haaland to beat him probably 2.5 seasons. Something like that. Maybe 2 seasons. But Sterling was here 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sterling was here for 7 seasons. So I think to overtake, obviously Tevez is there with 70 odd goals. Dzeko's there with 70 odd goals. Sterling's got a lot, 131. But the way Haaland's going, in 3 seasons, he'll be past everybody apart from Sergio. And the way Haaland's going, give him another 5 seasons. If he stays, he's beaten Sergio's record. Obviously, if he carries on the way he's going, he'll have 200 league goals in 6 seasons, I reckon, which is remarkable. That's it. That's obviously if he stays. Good evening, Adam. Hope you're well. 76 is that? Do you think that was Dzeko or Tevez?
I think that was the answer to Dzeko. I think not 76.
Well, Wikipedia said Dzeko's got.
Yeah. Well, they don't include Wikipedia. Don't tend to include cup goals, do they? I don't think.
Mm-hmm. You can get.
Yeah, right. I've been looking at some of the older ones, and I've been doing some history stuff today, and the Wikipedia doesn't pick up on FA Cup games and stuff like that. But it might do that. It might have updated with the newer ones. It might update it. Yeah.
Well, with the newer ones, it's up to people to update it because it's obviously.
So that's probably. I say I'm looking at guys from the. I was looking at guys from the 30s, the 40s, the 50s today. So obviously Wikipedia is not always the best on them anyway.
Absolutely, looking at the guys you went to school with. Absolutely, Bernard. Shearer said his goal total means as much as the trophy. So absolutely, it does make a big difference. But Kane does want to win something. Leotil, I never get this right. Leotil Motshija will forever be behind Sergio. Well, it all depends. If Haaland, goes to a Champions League final and scores a hat-trick, he's for everything Sergio's done, Haaland will straight away be up there. He's gonna. I think he needs 3 or 4 seasons to be considered to have a chance of equaling Sergio. Okay, in at City, 3 or 4 seasons is, I think, the length of time he needs. Especially, as I said, if he gets the weight of goals, if he's going to score 50 goals a season for 4 seasons. He's up there with Aguero's total goal tally. Obviously, this is the Aguero moment. You can't take that away, and I can't see Erling Haaland replicating that. But he's already doing incredible things. He's got, and you don't have to remind me who the clubs are. 6 hat-tricks this season. 6 hat-tricks. And
the thing is, when we get to the business end of the season, this is where the Agueros and the Haalands can make themselves legends, with the big games, and that's only going to come at the end of the season. He can score 10 hat-tricks against all the other, 10 of the teams in the Premier League. But at the end of the day, it's at the business end where we've got Champions League, where we've got the FA Cup, where we've got the league title. This is where the guys are made into legends. The fact they do it, there's arguments, wasn't there, about Gundo being a legend. I saw lots on Twitter about him being a legend because of what he did against Villa last season, but this is what people equate. He can score all these hat-tricks, etc., and almost double hat-tricks, but it's when it comes to the crux where we need him to win things for us, and that's when Haaland we'll see what we get from Haaland in that cause.
I mean, you mentioned his name. Would you class Ilkay Gundogan as a City legend?
Not a legend, no. No.
What does somebody have to do to be
a City hero, but not a
like
legend. That. Yeah, a City hero.
He's been here 7. I'll give Gundogan credit. He's been here 7 seasons. He's played. Do you know a rough idea? In 7 seasons, I don't believe that.
It's like saying people, you talk of Belly and Summerby, then you think of all the other guys who played, the Neil Youngs, the Glyn Pardos, the Tony Bucks. They could all, in theory, be classed as legends. All could be classed as legends in theory, but you've got to start drawing a line of what legend. They're all legends to me. Lee Bradbury's a legend to me. It doesn't really bother me that much, and that's true. I mean, I don't go with this award ceremonies. I don't go with this legend. I mean, why not? Paul Dickoffs, all this sort of thing. They might have only some players might have been with us a season, but I still treat them as sort of. I think of them as certainly heroes, if not legends. Even though they might have not been with us, might have played 30 odd games for us and still been a little bit of a legend. It's just a word. Word, yeah.
Alvaro Negredo for that half season was a legend, wasn't he? The way he was sticking the balls in the back of the net. Look, Gundogan, I mean, there's a lot of things that would be required to get someone to legend status. I think one of them is usually longevity. You've got to have a certain number of years. You know, is David Silva a legend? I think he is. Is Company a legend? Yes. Is Aguero a legend? Yes. In the Premier League era, those three for me are legends. Is Yaya Toure a legend? No. I wouldn't put him in that same bracket. Is Tevez a legend? Not for me. But but I like this hero that you've got. So someone who's done a lot. But to be a legend, I think you need years under your belt. You need probably to have done some wonderful stuff. And so when you look at Company and say, all right, he might not have played as many games as he should have, but obviously was captain for so many years, 10 seasons at City. That Leicester goal, that all contributes to his legendary status for me. Gundogan is somewhere between hero and legend. I think that's a better thing for me to look at it, because I think 7 seasons is, especially these days, that's a lot.
Look at Alan Oates. Alan Oates, what, 630 odd games? I mean, that is legend status. But no one would think Alan Oates is a legend, but it is. That's extraordinary. It just is.
Well, I think he's got to be a legend. I think you've got to call him a legend just because of the sheer number of goals he scored. I think there's certain stats that would mark somebody out for a legendary status. And I think playing 600 games, come on. How hard is it to play 600 games? These days, you've got to play basically every game for 10 seasons to get to 600. Okay, and that's assuming you play the City plays 60 games a season. Now, the most you can play in a season is about 65. That might change with the Club World Cup and other bits and pieces. So, and back in the day, you might have had 42 league games, but City weren't involved in I think back in those days, we'd have played about, in a good season, when there were 42 league games, in a good season, we'd have played 50 games. If we in Europe, we might have played a few games, but that was knockout. That was knockout from the start. It wasn't this, Champions League or Europa League where you've got 6 games, and if you get through, you've got eight games. Then that's a lot, and then you got your cup games. So City were lucky to get about 50 games a season. So someone like Alan Oates would have had to play every single game for 12 or 13 seasons to break that. So I think that amount of time that you're here, you got to be as a legend. If you're scoring so many goals, that confers legendary status as well. So, but I like as I said, I like your idea of hero. Yaya Toure would be I think it comes into hero territory, and Gundogan for me definitely hero. I mean, Yaya's probably a little bit above because. You look back at some of the things he did, that League Cup final against Sunderland, the goal he scored there, and some of the other goals, that fabulous season where he scored a ton of goals, he scored penalties, free kicks, and everything, and he was just an amazing.
When we needed him, things like Newcastle away, when we had to get the victories, it was Yaya who stepped up and did it for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Crystal Palace, which Crystal Palace always a pain in the bum to go there, but he's the one who sort of set us on our way with a cracking goal and stuff. Absolutely. And when he started on that little run up the middle, you just knew something was going to happen, didn't you? Like, simple as that. And Willie Donachie was the same in front of the kit backs in the 70s. He went to start. He's one of the first left backs to sort of had the kit backs going. He was a left back, for God's sake. He should be defending. He shouldn't be running up the other end of the pitch. But it's amazing to see these players. Pablo Zabaleta, Adam's mentioned there. I mean, yeah, absolutely. What can you say?
Yeah, absolutely. So Adam Quinn's asking, who's your favourite City player?
I'd have to split it, really. I'd have to split it as a youngster, obviously. It has to be Colin Bell, doesn't it, as a youngster? And I say, there's been so many recently. It's difficult. I mean, it's different thing. I mean, obviously, Company for his total attitude, Aguero for being the prolific striker and a wonderful David Silva for being a genius. I mean, it's really hard nowadays. It's really hard over the last 15 years or so 12 years or so to come up with something. But
I think you can go through phases where this is your favourite player of this era.
It's like someone says to me, "What's your favourite film?" I said, "Flipping heck, come on! You know how many films I've watched, how many films I've loved and watched dozens of times. It's impossible. Same with players, really."
I'd say from the Sheikh Mansour era, for me, it's David Silva. Pre that, I'll take a small snapshot. So getting back into the Premier League, a lot of fans' favourites was Sean Wright-Phillips, I think. Going back to when I started getting into football, I was getting into it when Colin Bell was sadly, coming back and then ending up retiring. So for me, in those days, there were names like Peter Barnes, Joe Corrigan, Paul Power. Don't miss.
I mean, he's my goalkeeping legend, Joe Corrigan. He's my legend goalkeeper. He's my favourite goalkeeper of all time.
You look a bit like him, don't you?
Well, he won me a radio cassette player, so I've got to be happy. He won me one in 1975-ish, something like that. He won me a record cassette player in a competition at the City Social Club. So I loved him anyways, but that obviously I was doing recording then, radio. What you record on your radio cassette in the old days with tapes, trying to get it right. used it for years. It was wonderful.
Okay, let's have a look. Sean says Haaland depends on how long he stays. Absolutely. Casimir Dana was an old legend. Oh, absolutely. Alec, when we got Casadena, I thought, even though he came from Poland, I thought we'd made it. For me, he was an exotic player. And may he rest in peace. I think it was a car accident that took Kazi, I think.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I lose track of what these people passed away, sadly. But too young anyway. He was far too young when it happened anyway.
Yeah, legend means above and beyond what you'd expect, says Sean. Yeah. Is Pablo Zabaleta a legend? We've got so many. I think one of the things as well that has affected us is because we were crap for so long. We had moments like Paul Dikov, Wembley and things like that, and Nicky Weaver and whatever. We had moments, but we had very little to cling on to. We had very little of in terms of quality, and it's just suddenly we've got so much quality that all these players are so up there. You can't ignore them. And some fans think Nigel de Jong is a legend, and he was only a couple of seasons. So it's very hard to get this spot on. Big Morgan says Neil Young is a legend. Alec agrees with that. And Big Morgan as well. Oh, Big Morgan as well. He's back again. Yeah, he was a Man City legend. He scored the goal against Stoke. Yeah, see, he did something. He did something remarkable. He scored the goal. So it's something that you're going to never forget. Bella, Aguero, Vinny, David, Silva, Zaba, etc. We got loads. I think we have. And as I said, I repeat, it's partly because we had such a dearth of legends or even decent players, for so long that maybe we elevate some a bit more than maybe we should. But hey, we're just catching up. According to Spitzy Carragher, we have no legends. Well, he can do one. I'll say it to his face. Haaland is a legend already, and he's deadly. I'm a huge fan. The lad is lethal. Yeah, I mean,
let's face it. I mean, players like Haaland, have done it for other teams as well. I mean, not just a City legend. He's making himself to a footballing legend, is he? From what he's doing. Obviously, I think it'll take a lot to get up to Messi and Ronaldo levels, all the hype they get. But there's got to be other guys coming through because there's not that many at the moment. Now we're still talking Messi, aren't we? At the moment, he's still getting hero worship now, and he's at the end of his days.
He's 35 now, isn't he? The thing about Haaland is now you probably do know this, so I'm not going to surprise you, but how many goals has he scored in his career? For
I don't know, mate. A lot.
Club and country. So I'm talking.
It must be up near Aguero, and can't be far off in the club and country.
Well, the thing is, I mean, obviously, Do you include the third division in Norway?
As long as it's a first-class game, as long as it's a proper competitive match, I'd include. As long as it's not kids' football or anything, I'd include anything that's competitive.
Yeah, I mean, some people. So I remember one stats or a comparison.
Paul Molden scored about 1,000 goals, didn't he? But it was all for his boys' teams.
but there was one stat comparison with other players, and they only took Haaland's goals that he scored in a Big Five league, so they disrespected all of the goals. Now,
it's like the Pelly thing, wasn't it? When they were on about what Pelly had scored, and obviously they all lots of goals for against weak teams in certain things, but he's still on his record. He scored them, that they were goals.
Well,
so.
the thing is, see, if they don't include Haaland's goals outside the Big Five, obviously when he played in Austria, they're not going to include them. The kid scored 29 goals. He scored 20 goals prior to that. So he's got best part of 50 goals before he played in the Big Five leagues. Now, if this current wiki is up to date, which looks like it is, in his club career, he scored 197 goals already. The kid's 22 years old.
Yeah,
22 years old.
Okay, just amazing.
Right, he'll be 23 this summer. He's 20. Let's call it 23. Let's call it 23 because
What's Messi scored then? Do you know that offhand or anything? What's he scored? Messi and Ronaldo. What have they scored?
Messi's just gone past 800.
800 goals. Flipping heck.
Okay. I'm just going to try and get his actual. Just make sure I get his number right. And I don't know if that's just club goals. It's crazy.
I'd say that's the beauty of goals. He plays at night with his kids as well. For 800 goals.
Well, he's that tiny, isn't he? Let's see if I can get it. I mean, obviously on the wiki, he's got a massive bio there, so it's going to take me ages to get. I'm still scrolling down. I'm still scrolling. Blimey, still scrolling. All right, now I found him. So he scored career total 712 club goals. 712, and international goals he scored 115, so that's 827 goals for Messi. Haaland, when you include his international goals, Haaland scored 21 international goals, so he's got 218 goals already. He's 23. He's got 12 years to catch up to Messi. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to, but, you just got to try and work out. Messi's put in some phenomenal seasons. Even if Haaland hits 50 goals a season for the next 6 years to get him to 29, that's 300 goals. Plus, he's only on 500. Messi's on 800. So it just gives you an idea. I think Ronaldo's just ahead of him. He's a couple of years old. It just gives you an idea how much these guys have played and how many goals he scored. Haaland's best season is going to be this season at City. He got 41 in the when he was a Bundesliga player, but that was in a full season. That was a season of 28, 32, 41 games. He played 41 games, got 41 goals. This season he's played 37. He's got 42 goals, so he's obviously going to surpass that. But when you look at Messi, Lionel Messi, now there's a couple of seasons. I mean, here goes Messi in 2009, 2010, when he was how old? I'm scrolling back. So he's born in 87. So he's 20, same age as Haaland. Okay. In around 2009, 10, he scored 47 goals. So he went through a phase where he scored 38. This is total goals in one season. Next, he scored 47, 53, 73 goals in a season. He played 60 games. Then he scored 60 goals, but he only played 50 games. 41, 58 goals. 41 again.
How many would he have scored in the Premier League? How many would he got over here?
Who knows? He might have scored more. Who knows? Obviously, depends who he plays for. Let's go through some more comments. John Mercer was a legend. Brea says, I think he'll probably be the best ever striker to play for Man City, but if he'll be a legend, depends how long he stays here, what he wins. I still say if he stays 3 or 4 seasons, bags that trick in a Champions League final, and scores 200 goals for City, even in 4 seasons, he'd be a legend. I think because he scored that many goals. If he beats Aguero's record, wins a Champions League, wins a couple of league titles, I think he's going to be cemented for me anyway. Sean says Haaland is a player every team on the planet would want right now. Makings of a legend. Big Morgan. What about Super Mario? I don't think we all love Mario Balotelli, but I don't think he counts as a legend. He's got cheeky boy status or whatever. But Balotelli won't get 700 goals. You reckon? I'll tell you what, now you're making me work now. So you reckon Mario Balotelli must be miles away from that?
I think he's put an extra 0 on there.
No, I wouldn't be surprised if Balotelli will get to between 200 and 300 goals. But he's not the kind of guy you got. Let's have a look at Balotelli. Mario Balotelli. Go on then. Here's a quiz question. So, how many goals do you reckon he scored in his club career? Then I'll add his international goals on after that. In his club career.
How old is he now?
Mario, he's 32. He's only 32. Any ideas?
He didn't score that many for us, did he? That I remember.
Mario didn't. He scored for City 30 goals in 80 games. The last season of Mario was crap. He did score 27 goals in 60 games, which was quite decent. Last season he scored 3 in 20, but a lot of subs appearances as well. So in his club career, Mario Balotelli has got 181 goals, and for Italy he's got 14. So he's got 195 in total. 195. Now he's playing in the Swiss Super League. I'm not sure how good that is, really.
Oh, well, Gomez plays for Switzerland, doesn't he? So
yeah. Well, I'll just go through everybody's comments before we wrap it up. Sean says first time City was so-called Galactico. Premier League, toughest league, Haaland smashing it. Mario Cult Hero, not a legend yet. Cult Heroes spot on. 700 parking tickets. Dougie, how you doing, mate? Hope you're well. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I think recently Dougie said he's got a baby on the way later on this year. So we also obviously say congratulations again to Dougie. Mario Balotelli scored 30 goals for City, says Adam. That's spot on.
Wonder how many 180s he's got at darts. That's the thing.
Mario.
That's what we need to know.
Well, he's not as many as Joey Barton. 0 assists for Mario. But look, I'm going to wind it up so we can get some shut eye because we lose, as Bernard says, we're losing an hour tomorrow with the clocks going forward in the UK. But Erling Haaland, he's smashing it. He's had a little bit of a quiet patch and he's come back fighting. Yeah, we said it the other week that it's a shame that the international breaks come along because the kid looks full of confidence, full of beans. He's banging.
When did he pick the injury up? Did he have a training session or a couple of training sessions, or did he carry it from coming from us?
I don't know. Really don't know what happened. He was there a couple of days, then he come back. So I don't know if it's a proper injury or not. Last couple of questions. Unapologetically Blue says, do we think Pep will change his tactic against Bayern? That's going to be awkward, isn't it? Because you've had one set tactic with them under Nagelsmann.
Yeah, well, not everyone's panicking about Tuchel. Let's not forget, since the cup, they beat us in the cup. They never beat us after him with him in charge. We stuffed them 2 or 3 times. We played them after that, but I'm not worried about Tuchel. It seems a silly thing to do at this stage of the season, but hey, there you go. So that's Bayern Munich for you.
Nagelsmann's won 8 out of 8 Champions League games this season. Is okay because they're not clear of everybody in the Bundesliga. It seems to be that's it. We've had some duck eggs at City. Do you remember? Plenty of duck eggs. Trying to forget them. We did some stuff on, I think, Bolt from the Blue in the past. We're trying to forget these beggars. Hit Barton after kicking Aguero. Here you go, Bernard. Who did, on a pre-season tour to Thailand, who did Joey Barton stub out his cigar on in his eye?
Was it a Newey, whatever it's called? Was it him?
No.
It was someone with an odd name, wasn't it? If I remember rightly. One of the young lads like that. I want it.
Jason Tandy.
Yeah.
I was hoping you'd say, "Oh yeah, Jason Tandy."
No.
Let me.
No. Okay, I know about Tandy. Something to do with speakers, isn't it, or recording equipment or something?
Tandy, they make washing machines.
I know he's one of the young lads, wasn't he? He was only one of the young players, wasn't he?
Yeah, let's have a look. So Jason Tandy.
Where's
Tandy,
he now?
He never got anywhere. The thing is, Jason Tandy said that he ruined his career. I'm not sure it was just that, but because he got sued by Jason Tandy 15 years back, and Joey Barton called him a gobsh and a house.
I agree with Alec about him after kicking Aguero, but I think that helped us win the game, in fairness. So I'm not too sure we should be worried about it.
Bernard had already been sent off by then.
That's what I'm saying, but I just thought the fact he kicked him. If he hadn't kicked Aguero, he might not have been in the right. He might not have hobbled in the right place at the right time.
All power, all legend, absolutely. We've got a gem. Enjoy it while it lasts, absolutely. Jason Tandy, there we go. And finally, we got Big Mugs. Love Gareth Barry, great lad. Yeah, Gareth Barry,
good lad. Yeah,
good professional. Bernard, thanks a lot for coming on tonight, mate.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks to all the guys who've been on tonight after. Obviously, not much football going on at the moment. Is it England? Is it Tuesday night? England play again? I'm not too sure.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not.
I won't watch him. I won't watch him. All Southgate's there. I'll give it a miss, I think.
Yeah, he annoys me. I mean, I'm not that fussed that Foden got, was it 11 minutes? Better for us that he didn't play.
Most what's that got to do with anything? Is that we haven't all lost our hair watching City, but then I've seen a lot of United fans are bald as well. But there you go.
Right, guys, thanks a lot for coming on. Take care, and in a day or two, hopefully, we'll do another stream. Probably as we get into next week, we'll start doing streams again.
Look forward to the Liverpool game. Yeah.
Once England are over, I might even get to that Liverpool game. So I'm going into hospital a few days after that. We're just working out a date for the appointment, and they initially said 1st or 2nd of April, and I thought that's possibly not the best time to go in. Having said that, I don't want to go on the 1st of April, watch Liverpool play at Etihad, and have my heart going bang, 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 bang. Because it's not the best for the old blood pressure. But guys, take care of yourselves, and hopefully we'll catch you in a few days' time. We'll see you around Blues.